Edward Malone was a young journalist with an ordinary job, but he did not want to live an ordinary life. He dreamed of adventure, danger, and the chance to prove that he was a brave man. There was also another reason for his desire to become an adventurer. Malone was in love with a young woman named Gladys Hungerton. One day, he spoke to her about his feelings. Gladys liked him, but she told him that she dreamed of marrying a man who had done something great. "I admire men who are brave," she explained. "A man who is ready to face danger and do something important." Her words stayed in Malone's mind. He decided that he needed an adventure. The next day, Malone went to his newspaper office and spoke to his editor, Mr. McCardle. "Give me a difficult assignment," Malone said. "Send me somewhere dangerous. I want to do something that other reporters are afraid to do." McCardle looked at him with surprise. "You are really looking for trouble, aren't you?" he asked. Then he thought for a moment. "There may be one man who can give you enough trouble," McCardle said. "His name is Professor George Edward Challenger." Malone had heard of him. Professor Challenger was a famous scientist. He was extremely intelligent, but he was also proud, powerful, and very quick to become angry. He especially disliked journalists. Some time earlier, Challenger had returned from an expedition to South America with an extraordinary story. He claimed that he had discovered evidence of a strange world hidden from modern civilization. According to Challenger, there was a huge plateau deep inside an unexplored region of South America. It was surrounded by high cliffs and had been separated from the rest of the world for thousands of years. Challenger believed that ancient animals might still be living there. Some people thought he was a genius. Others thought he was crazy. Most scientists demanded proof. Malone immediately became interested. "This is exactly the kind of story I want," he told McCardle. But there was a problem. Challenger refused to speak to journalists because previous newspaper reports had made fun of him. Malone therefore decided to approach him carefully. He wrote to Challenger and pretended to be a young man deeply interested in science. Challenger agreed to meet him. When Malone arrived at Challenger's house, he immediately understood why people found the professor frightening. Challenger was a large, powerful man with a huge beard and intense eyes. He looked at Malone suspiciously. At first, they discussed science, but Challenger was not easily fooled. After asking several questions, he suddenly realized that Malone did not know as much science as he claimed. "You are a journalist!" Challenger shouted. Malone knew that his plan had failed. Challenger became extremely angry. A loud argument followed, and Malone soon found himself being pushed toward the door. The situation became so wild that people outside noticed the disturbance. However, Malone did something Challenger did not expect. He did not try to take revenge, and he did not report the professor to the police. This surprised Challenger. Perhaps, he thought, this young journalist was different from the others. After calming down, Challenger allowed Malone to return and speak with him privately. This time, Malone listened carefully. Challenger told him about his journey through South America. During the expedition, he had found information belonging to an American explorer named Maple White. Maple White had travelled through a mysterious region before his death. Among his possessions were unusual drawings. One drawing was particularly important. It showed a strange animal, unlike any modern creature. Challenger believed the drawing represented a prehistoric animal. He also explained that he had seen the great isolated plateau himself. Malone studied the evidence. He had arrived at Challenger's house expecting to meet an angry scientist with an impossible story. Now he was not so certain. What if he is telling the truth? Malone thought. If Challenger was right, somewhere in South America there might be a place untouched by time, a lost world where creatures from the ancient past still survived. For the first time, Malone felt that the great adventure he had been searching for might actually be beginning. And he had no idea how dangerous that adventure would become.